Why is Meghan Markle such a polarizing and controversial figure? I'd like to explore this today. Meghan Markle, it's fair to say, is a controversial figure. There are people on both sides of the extremes, people that absolutely adore her and others who completely can't stand her. People who hate her, however, seem to be the most vocal, and they make some very disparaging claims about the Duchess, although these opinions shouldn't be taken as pure fact. There are four main reasons that this article points out. Number one is Meghan Markle's hasty divorce. Meghan Markle dated Trevor Engelson for 7 years, and then she was married to him for 2 years. They were married between 2011 and 2013, and Meghan Markle sent back her wedding ring and her engagement ring in the mail with no warning, not so much as a tweet. Andrew Morton, in his biography, Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, which was published just before her wedding to Prince Harry, he wrote that Markle's decision to divorce came seemingly out of nowhere. What was really going on there? Was Meghan already with somebody else? This is before the chef Corey Vitiello. Corey Vitiello was later, and when Meghan met Harry, she was living with Corey Vitiello. So it wasn't Corey Vitiello. I want to know what happened there. The next thing that really seems to bother people is Meghan's relationship with her father, Markle versus Markle. Speaking of cutting people out of her life, her very public falling out with her father is another piece of evidence people who dislike Meghan Markle use as evidence of her sly, duplicitous nature. Many people point out that Thomas Markle seemed to be an integral part of Markle's life growing up. He raised her from the age of 11. Doria was nowhere to be seen. A lot of people think that Doria was in prison for that time. I believe that Doria did more than 4 years in prison during this time, and so she was living with her father. Her father sent her full free ride to college. When she started getting called out on this, she deleted a Father's Day blog post where she honored her father. She talked about their fishing trips together and that he would always take her to ballet class and how he supported her dream of becoming an actress. Do the public feel that Meghan has been unfair to her father? Because I think this is the main thing that really bothers people, is the way that she treats her father and the way that she treats Harry. Princess training going to waste. Do people feel that Meghan has been disrespectful toward Queen Elizabeth? There are those who are annoyed by the fact that despite all the training the British royal family provided Markle, she still commits countless royal faux pas that are apparently a huge embarrassment to the royal family. She's always wearing sleeveless dresses. You're supposed to be covered to the elbow. She never wears stockings. Goodness gracious, why are you doing that? You're a married woman. Dress appropriately. She always wears the wrong colors. You're not allowed to wear black unless it's like a funeral or something. They have very specific things. And she seemed to be flagrantly violating all of the rules. Does the public feel that Meghan was disrespectful? And I wonder if this is kind of sticking in people's craw. And the impact on the royal family. There was lots of conflict with Kate Middleton. She had a $500,000 baby shower. She spent $1 million in clothes in her first year. I think Meghan spent more money on clothes in her first year than all other royals combined. They did a $3 million Frogmore renovation and then never lived there. Wow. It seems like maybe it's all about the money. Does the public believe that Meghan just married Harry for the money, that she's just a social climber? So let's look at some of these things and see where the people fall on this, because ultimately it's all PR and public perception. Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. Why is Meghan Markle such a polarizing figure? I chose this photo because obviously Meghan is constantly compared to both Diana and Kate. So Meghan seeks out these comparisons between herself and Diana, and there seems to be a rivalry between Kate and Meghan, and Kate is the future queen or queen consort, and Meghan is, married to the sixth in line and would never be queen. So what makes Meghan such a polarizing figure? The number one item is her divorce from Trevor Engelson, where they were married less than 2 years, and she simply sent her ring and engagement ring and wedding ring back in the mail with no note or anything. So I want to know what was happening. Okay, was she seeing someone else? Was she living with somebody else? Did she just feel that she'd gotten all she could out of Trevor? Trevor was a talent agent and a director, and he got her the role in Suits, which was her biggest role. And it was in Canada, and he was in LA. She was originally from LA. That's why she moved back to LA. What's going on? I want to know what's going on there. So what was happening that she just sent the ring, the engagement ring, and the wedding band back with no... All right, what was happening there? So we have the actress card, butterfly, transformation, new, public appearance, and many people. She wanted to transform her public image in front of all the people. She just felt that it was time to cut him loose, and that he was holding her back in her career. Holding her back in her career. She just had other ideas about... She selfishly wanted to make a big change and start over with different relationships. She was secretly seeking different relationships. I think this says to me, so far this says to me that she went as far as she could go with Trevor, and she wanted to hook her star to someone else. She wanted to go in a different direction. So the butterfly was the ugly caterpillar and comes out as the beautiful butterfly. So the butterfly is transformed into a new life. The actress transformed into a new life among the many people. He's holding her back in her career. So she's now feeling that he's holding her back, and it just doesn't go any further with him. She very selfishly made this big change to start over. And I specifically wanted to know if she was with someone else. If she was already living with somebody else maybe, and she wasn't telling him about it. She wasn't telling Trevor about it. Trevor kind of knew about it. Everybody knew about it. That's what I'm wondering, and this kind of hints at that, but it's not clear. It is clear that she wanted to go in a different direction, and he wasn't going to take her there. Okay, and she was cultivating new relationships. Okay, but nothing really solid, but she wanted to start over. She wanted to go in a different direction. She was going to remake herself, and Trevor was holding her back from that. So she was kind of using Trevor, very selfish, very cutthroat. And people see that. Let's look at Meghan and Thomas. We'll put Meghan here. We'll put Thomas there. Do the public feel that she's been unfair to her father? Because when she wrote the handwritten note, and then the 5 anonymous friends blasted Thomas Markle out on People magazine, and then she had paparazzi following him, and he's setting up like a fake fitting for the wedding, and looking at a travel book for England where he's going to go and what he's going to see. These were, and then it caused him so much stress that the poor man had a heart attack. right before the wedding. That's how stressful it was. And I understand, because my back hurts. When I'm under a lot of stress, my back hurts. Okay, and I've had some serious back problems in the past. I don't have any. I'm not having any now. I'm strong as an ox that way. And I really I work at it every day to have a strong back. So let's look at Meghan and Thomas and see, does the public feel that she's been unfair to him? Because he was getting crucified in the media. He was getting crucified. And then it finally turned around, and I really think that's a big thing that bothers people. Meghan, Thomas. Oh, there's the devil wants to show up. So does the public feel that Meghan has treated Thomas unfairly? Because for goodness sake, the man has not seen his grandson. He's not been introduced to Harry. Crazy. Just really, really just disturbing. It's really disturbing for me, especially since he raised her, sent her to college. He seemed to do a really good job. He was a very responsible man, held a high position, won awards for his work. He's not a Dumbo. He's not a weirdo. He's not a drug addict. He's not some sketchy person that they tried to make him out to be. He's a really good dude. Okay, and I don't think you can say the same of Doria. Doria's a little bit sketchy. Okay, Doria's definitely a little bit sketchy and has major secrets, like Meghan has major secrets in her life. So does the public feel that Meghan treated her father unfairly? Well, it's a very emotional issue. 10 Hearts is the most emotional card. Very emotional about the family. It's just all emotion. What's over here? The Devil, Star Bethlehem, Devil, and 9 Diamonds, Mercury. Lies about just telling lies in the media, and that's how it was done. 17, 5 Hearts. The public believes it's just all lies about Thomas now. They just believe that it's all just a false emotional narrative about Thomas. Let's look at Thomas here. 9 Hearts, Woman, and Cornucopia. This would be Meghan, his daughter. 29, 8 Hearts, Water into Wine. He really raised her. He supported her. Cornucopia. Cornucopia is all material things. He gave her all material things. He launched her, and the relationship transformed. 8 Hearts. So the public believes that he was a good father and that he raised her and gave her all the material, really just raised her up as a daughter, as he should, and gave her everything that he gave her as a responsible parent. What's over here with Meghan? Cross, burden or the marriage or the permanent relationship. She has a permanent relationship with her father, whether she likes it or not. 10, 18, 5 Diamonds, Step by Step. City, the world, 3 Blackbirds, talking in the world about her family. Step by Step. The world feels that this is kind of a calculated plan. It's a much more calculated plan, and it's there's a calculated plan in place here. So that's interesting, because that is how I feel Meghan is. I feel that Meghan comes off very emotionally, always getting the 10 Hearts, always getting the Devil. The Devil's very selfish, and always getting the 10 Hearts. Well, we have both the 10 Hearts and the Devil here. So the public feels that ultimately all this emotional talk about her father is just lies. It's all just made up lies disguised as emotions. Okay, but underneath, they really feel that Meghan is very, very calculated. She has a plan to deal with her father, and she's really doing this for some reason. And the father, Thomas, did a really good job. So this is something that would really bother people about Meghan. It really bothers me. The way she treats her father and the way she treats Harry are the things that I think bother the public the most. Okay, then we have the princess training. Do people believe that Meghan was intentionally ignoring royal protocol and snubbing the Queen? Does the public feel that Meghan was disrespectful, sort of intentionally disrespectful to the Queen, like she's better than the Queen and she doesn't have to listen to the Queen? Because I've heard those comments a lot. So does the public feel that Meghan was disrespectful to the Queen? We've got the 10 spades showing up. Oh dear. Because there is a camp that believes that Meghan was intentionally disrespectful so that she would get a lot of kickback and so that she could claim to be a victim. Oh, they're being so mean to me, they're bullying me, because all along from the beginning she intended to leave the royal family from the beginning. That's not how I see it in my readings. I see Meghan feeling that she's just reacting to circumstances, and circumstances just, this is just how it turned out for her, and that she did not intend to leave the royals. But let's see what the cards say. Does the public believe that Meghan was intentionally disrespectful to the Queen? Handcuffs joined messages, committed to messages, damaging messages. Oh dear. 13, 4 hearts, the family. Okay, the royal family, 4 hearts. So on the surface, the messages, her presentation, the messages that Meghan was sending were just devastating to the royal family. It doesn't attribute scienter or intention here. It says that the messages that Meghan was sending were damaging to the royal family. Very pro-abortion, you know, male, pale, and stale. You know, I'm so shocked that there are actual British people running, you know, teaching in the British universities. What's up with that, man? That's so weird. Let's all get upset about that. And that's what she was, you know, it's odd. It's odd. What's underneath? Okay, scapegoat, straight razor, 4-leaf clover, scourge, and Trinity. Everything working together to remove her from the royal palace. Very acting opportunistically, constantly creating conflict, very opportunistically, and this ended up with her getting kicked out. So the public believes that her messages, her way of doing things was very bad for the royal family, and she was just constantly hammering it every chance she got. She was going against the narratives of the royal family. She really needed to keep her mouth shut. And my opinion is she could have done all the things that she did. She could have gone to she could have supported all of the things that she supported as long as she kept her mouth closed, and she would have sent the message much stronger by not saying it or using very bland words and showing up. Because what's really important is where she shows up and what she wears. She's throwing the full force and weight of the royal family behind what she is endorsing. Okay, so all that talking really worked against her. So they just feel that she was just too strident. She was just constantly hammering with her mouth, you know, talking and hammering her points home. And yeah, she just was the wrong fit. Okay, so then there's all the money. The baby shower, $500,000, the $1 million in clothes the first year, you know, spending, just going absolutely nuts with the credit card, $3 million Frogmore renovation. Does the public believe that Meghan Markle is really just a social climber and she was just there for the money and the perks? Let's see. I'm interested to see this. Is Meghan just a social climber? Do people believe this? Just there for the perks. Because there are substantial financial advantages and perks, you know, to being in the royal family. That's what you get for that little bit of work. Okay, 10 diamonds, royal family, cornerstone, very solid. These are these are the great solid money cards. 4 diamonds and 10 diamonds. Secretly, secrets in the box, coffin. Going forward, 5 diamonds. Rising with the money and the royal family. Secretly. So yeah, they do believe that absolutely this was her motivation to rise in the world. That was her secret motivation, is to climb socially, to achieve all this money, especially money, and to raise her position in life. 5 diamonds. What's underneath? Water into wine, angel, crossroads, no, and olive tree. It's not about the family. Her decisions are not about the family. Angel, transformation, water into wine, and angel. She wanted to look like an angel. This transformation, oh, let's see, water into wine, transforming through her marriage. She's not an angel, and decisions. Looking at the mirroring here. So what is this saying on the bottom? Okay, is it about the money? And do people believe? They believe that she's transforming herself through marriage. Decisions in the middle. It's not about the family. And she just wanted to appear perfect. She wanted to transform herself into an angel. She wanted to transform her path and become an angel, and it's not about the family. That's an interesting read. So definitely, right on the surface, people do believe that it is. There's a lot of social climbing action going on here. She was transforming herself through the marriage, becoming a duchess and part of the royal family. But ultimately, it's not about the family. She wanted to clean the slate. People believe that she wanted to appear perfect, because I really think that's Meghan's motivation for most things, is to appear as an angel. And that's why she complains so much. That's why she's always saying that people are not being fair to her and being sexist and whatnot. Because she's very, I think she's kind of damaged, and she can't accept any criticism. And so I think the public is seeing this as well. Social climbing, and wants to appear to be perfect. Just absolutely regal. And yeah, and there's a schism. There's a break between the appearance and the person. Okay, and that's why the staff around her quits, because she's holding up that image that she's perfect. All right, let's review here. So what are the things that really make Meghan such a polarizing figure? Trevor Engelson sending the wedding rings back in the mail with no explanation. Well, she just felt that he was slowing her down, and she was ready to make a change and go in a different direction and cultivate new relationships, and marriage would make it hard for her to cultivate those new relationships. She kind of selfishly wanted to make these changes and start fresh. So she just felt that Trevor was holding her back. The marriage to Trevor was holding her back. Do people feel that she was unfair to her father Thomas and Meghan? People believe that this whole emotional narrative where she's the victim and all that, it's just all lies. They're not believing the emotional narrative, which I find fascinating, because that's her shtick. She comes off very emotionally, and it's everyone's fault. So people are really not believing that. They do believe that Thomas was a really good father and really provided for his daughter. And they believe that this is a very cold-hearted, calculated plan in place by Meghan. So this is showing both sides, the calculation and the emotional appearance that Meghan likes to show. Does the public believe that Meghan was disrespectful to the Queen? Well, right on the surface, her actions were very damaging to the royal family. 4 hearts. Very clearly, her actions were damaging the royal family. Underneath, she just kept hammering her messages until they kicked her out. So it doesn't say that she was intentionally disrespectful. It says that she kept hammering her messages, and it doesn't say that she was trying to do this. It just more objectively says that her messages were damaging, and she just never quieted down, never got in line. Do people believe that Meghan was there for social climbing and the perks? Yes, definitely. It's the money and the perks, definitely right on the surface. That was her secret motivation. She was hoping to, they believed that she was hoping to transform herself through the marriage, but she had no concern for the marriage. It was all about image. So that's interesting. This kind of definitely an interesting read. So the public is kind of onto what's going on beneath the surface. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination, Fortune Telling, the Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to those who contribute, who've bought me a cup of tea. So right now, the cards are out of stock. I'm going to be moving in the next couple of days, and so they're going to be out of stock for maybe 2 weeks. So, these cards are going to be out of stock for about 2 weeks. So thanks for your patience, and we'll get back to shipping stuff out in about 2 weeks, I think.